What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another Daily Deck Tech video, and today we have ourselves another viewer request. And today's, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know if the person requested it as a Commander of the Day or a Card of the Day, but I erred on the side of caution and did Commander of the Day. It is a card called Lyla, Holographic Assistant, from the Spider-Man set. Now, one thing to point out first and foremost before we get into this is it's kind of silly. If you look on the text there, where it normally says Legendary Artifact Creature, it says Legend Day. And I went and I pulled a copy out of my Spider-Man cards, and yes, indeed, it is a Legend Day Artifact Creature. So we got ourselves a new type, Legend Day. But I digress. Beyond that, let's get straight into it, shall we? She's a 2/2 for 4, which... you know, not the best rate for mana, but then whenever you draw a card, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature. You're going to find that in Magic, in blue, pretty much all of these cards that say get a counter or put a counter on something when you draw a card, they're all like 2/2s for 4. So we're going to have a bunch of those creatures. We're going to try to draw. We have ways to deck our opponents. We have ways to put lots of counters on our creatures and swing in for beats, making lots of different creatures. So let's see how we do that, shall we? We are running 23 creatures in today's deck, a little bit more than I normally run. We have Archmage Emeritus, which is Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. Pretty simple, straightforward, gets you some counters. Chameleon, Master of Disguise. He is the Master of Disguise. You may have Chameleon enter as a copy of another creature you control, except his name is Chameleon, Master of Disguise, instead of its name. So if you want to copy your Lyla or one of your other legendary cards, like Krang down here, or Danny Pink, who are both very strong value cards in the deck, do so. We have Klinquint Sky Mage flying. Whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. It's a 1/1 for 4. See what I mean about those rates with the counters? We have Danny Pink, Mentor. So whenever it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on a target attacking creature with lesser power. Don't attack with this guy. Instead, let him gain you value. With creatures you control, have, whenever one or more counters are put on this creature for the first time each turn, draw a card. It's really strong. So if you have a bunch of creatures out there, you can draw a bunch of cards by targeting each of them individually with Lyla, which will then draw you a card, get a counter, etc. until you run out of creatures to put counters on for the first time. Enduring Curiosity, so whenever a creature you control deals combat damage, you get to draw a card, and when it dies, it enters the battlefield as an enchantment. Fairy Mastermind, Flying Flash, whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. You can also make everybody draw. Flux Channeler, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you proliferate. Glenalendra Guardian, Flying Flash, and this creature enters with a -1/-1 counter on it, and you remove a counter from this creature. Counter target non-creature spell, its controller draws a card. It's like Glenalendra Archmage, where she could counter, but this one's a little bit cheaper at $1.29. So, you know, remove the -1/-1 counter, put a 1/1 counter on it, so you have a lot of counter magic. Please use sparingly because it does draw your opponent a card. Homunculus Horde. I love this card a lot. It's whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a token that's a copy of this creature. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Make a whole bunch of them, and then they all become targets for Danny Pink's ability. We have Jesus Projection. Whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on it. You can put a loyalty counter on target Jace Planeswalker. We are not running Jace Planeswalkers. We have Krang the All-Powerful. This card is really good, friends. The Turtle set is cooking with some of these cards that they have in it. It's a 3/3 for 5. If a player drawing a card causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So, a player, so your opponent and you, this would trigger an additional time, this would trigger an additional time, very, very good card. I highly recommend this card. Get it, scoop it up. Because it can go in a lot of decks besides this one. Krang, the All-Powerful, is a very good card. Looter Core, Shadow. When it deals damage to an opponent, you loot. Pump it up, kill him. Market Back Walker enters with X 1/1 counters on it. Put a 1/1 counter on this creature. When it dies, you draw cards equal to the 1/1 counters. Mull Drifter. You can also put Null Drifter in here if you want. When it enters, draw 2 cards. Nadir Kraken, when you draw a card, you can pay 1. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on it, Nadir Kraken, and then create a blue tentacle token. Onerophage flies, and whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on Onerophage. Palinchron. Palinchron is in here for one reason. He combos with High Tide to generate infinite mana. That's the goal here, is you just generate infinite mana with it. There you go. We have Phyrexian Metamorph. You may have Phyrexian Metamorph enter the battlefield as a copy of any artifact. I should explain this for newer folks. So with High Tide, it causes all islands to tap for an additional blue. So each of your islands will tap for blue. So you say you have 8 lands, or 7 lands. You would tap for 14. You play Palinchron. All right. You immediately untap 7 lands. You still have 7 mana floating. You use 4 of that 7 mana to bounce Palinchron to your hand. Tap for the 7. Replay. Repeat ad nauseum. We have Psychosis Crawler. Power and toughness equal to the cards in your hand. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. Hey, Krang, how's it going? Doubling that trigger, Scrawling Crawler. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player loses 1 life. Hey, Krang, how's it going? We're friends. I'm doing a deck tech of Krang. It's decided. I'm writing this down right now. Great card. One of my favorites from the set so far. Summon Hall Creeper. Can't be blocked. When it deals combat damage, you choose one that has not been chosen yet. Put 2/1/1 counters on it. Draw a card. Or it becomes a copy of another target creature you control. The Unagi of Kyoshi Island. Fun fact for you. Unagi means eel. Flash and Ward. Waterbend 4. And whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw 2 cards. Wan Shitong, a librarian, Flash, Flying Vigilance. When he enters, put X/1/1 counters on him, then draw half X cards, rounded down. Whenever an opponent searches the library, you put a 1/1 counter on it and draw a card. He gets very big, very scary, very fast. There's a reason he's $55. Sorceries. Contentious Plan, draw a card, proliferate. Echoes of the Aeons. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into the library and draws 7 cards. In other words, it makes all of your counter draw guys go brr. Enter the Enigma. Target creature can't be blocked this turn, and then draw a card. So make one of your guys enormous and then smash somebody to death with him. Finale of Revelation. Draw X cards. If X is 10 or more, instead shuffle your graveyard into your library. Draw X cards, then untap 5 lands, and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. And then you exile Finale of Revelation. You got Ponder. Look at the top 3. You can put them back in any order, and then you can shuffle, and then you draw a card. Seagate Restoration. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand plus 1. You have no maximum hand size. And if you're really sad, you can play it as a land. Serum Visions. Draw a card. Scry 2. Windfall. We all know what this card does. Each player discards their hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. We have Instants. I, for the record, am not playing Narset in this deck. 1, because for the most part, when I do these deck techs, avoid game changers. I design these so people can customize them themselves. And 2, I really don't like the Narset Windfall combo. We have Aetherize. Return all attacking creatures to their owner's hands. Offer you can't refuse. Counters a spell, but they get 2 treasures. Arcane Denial. Counters a spell. You get to draw 1 card. They get to draw 2. Blue Sun Zenith. So here's what we can do with our infinite mana. We can deck people with Blue Sun Zenith. It's super fun, super fast. Let's do it. Brainstorm, draw 3, so get 3 counters, and put 2 cards on top of your library. Brain Surge, draw 4, put 2 in your hand, 2 on the top of your library. Consider, Surveil, draw a card. Counterspell is a counterspell. Dramatic Reversal, untap all your non-land permanents. Flow of Knowledge is draw a card for each island you control, then discard 2 cards. You're going to have lots of islands. Frantic Search, draw 2, then discard 2, untap 3 lands. High Tide, we already talked about. Causes your islands to tap for an additional mana. It causes any player, so be careful with it if your opponent is also playing blue. Keep Watch, draw a card for each attacking creature. Long-term plans. From Scourge, search your library for a card. Shuffle your library, put it 3rd from the top, which should be easy because you're drawing a million cards. Negate, Pongify, Rapid Hybridization for a tiny bit of removal. Quick Study, draws 2 cards. Refute, counter a spell, draw a card, then discard a card. Pull from Tomorrow, draw X cards, then discard a card. And Tolarian Winds, discard your hand, draw that many cards. There you go. Artifacts. We've got ourselves Ahal Murat's Archive. The life gain ability on it isn't as important as if you would draw a card, except for the first one you draw each of your draw steps. Draw 2 cards instead. Notice this is not a May. Do not deck yourself unless you're going to play something like Labman in your deck. Howling Mind. Everybody gets to draw extra cards. Midnight Clock. is a mana rock, and you can put an hour counter on it. When it hits 12, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, draw 7 cards, and exile the clock. Sapphire Medallion makes your blue cost less. Soul Ring is Soul Ring. And the Magic Mirror, which I love. And yes, it says it costs 9, but this spell costs 1 less for each instant sorcery card in your graveyard. I've gotten this easily to cost 3. You have no maximum hand size. Beginning your upkeep, you put a knowledge counter on it and draw a card for each knowledge counter on the Magic Mirror. We have Ominous Seas, which is when you draw a card, put a foreshadow counter. You can remove 8 to make an 8/8 Kraken. This can get really out of hand really fast in a deck like this, and puts a lot of threats on your board to start beating people's faces in. Teferi's Angel's Insight has, if you draw a card except for the first one you draw each of your draw steps, you draw 2 instead. And then Wizard class, no max hand size. Draw 2 cards at level 2. Level 3, you get to put a 1/1 counter on target creature when you draw a card. Lands, we have Agnikella. This lets you loot, draw, discard. Karn's Bastion lets you proliferate, Remote Island. Enters tap, but you can cycle it to draw a card. Rogue's Passage, target creature can't be blocked. I run this in like every deck. War Room, pay life equal to the colors of your commander's color identity, draw a card. And then 2 basic fetches. I got asked the other day with a monocolor deck, why would I run fetches in a monocolor deck? And it is important to do so if you have scry or anything like that, or like brainstorming and the stuff on top of your library is bad, it is good to shuffle those things away. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hopefully I did a good job. Again, hey Krang, we're going to be making a deck with you very soon, probably this weekend. But as always, I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.